Tamika Scott brings receipts.
You and your husband got to be the most simplest criminals in the world. How are you going to send me a threat text? Let me explain the text. I will put it up here so you guys can see it. And, I might even share the video where she's saying things that's in the text. So I got a threat text about me, Tiny, and Candy, all right? First of all, her husband says that I sent him naked pictures. And he says something about Tiny, and he says something about Candy that I'm not going to say, which are all lies.
You see what the big news is, right?
About you stealing the $30,000?
No, about now the news is Tamika, my sister-in-law, was sending me naked pictures. Todd sucking a tranny's dick, and Tiny in trouble. That's about to be the biggest news today. So, people, that girl you got coming over there with security for what? Like, damn, Tasha.
Let me ask you this
liar.
real quick.
He's a devil. He's evil. A lot of stuff has happened over the years where I have protected my sister and her husband because I wanted a family. I didn't want to be an outcast. I didn't want them not to love me anymore. So I took a lot of things, not just off of them, but also off my mom. So I did not want to be out here without love. So of course, I let things ride. Miss Diane already explained to everybody that she signed all of us up for sound exchange.
Well, I signed xscape, every one of them, up for sound exchange. And I sent all the paperwork. And Tamika, I did Latasha, everybody. And Tamika told me when we filled out the paperwork, she was living in New York then. Mm-hmm. And I still have the paperwork. And I filled it out and I've put it, her address was all in New York and everything. Tamika, my Tamika had gotten her checks, and it was a pretty big check then. I'm thinking it was like close to $20,000 the first time. They got a lot of checks though. And Tamika said, I didn't get my checks. And I said, well, you should have. I said, because Tamika's gotten several checks already. And so we called up to Sound Exchange. Me and Tamika was on the line. And we talked to, this guy's name was Joe Mo Grady. I think he's passed away, but back then, he was the person we talked to, and he talked to Tamika, and she asked him questions about her checks were going to Hampton, Georgia. And so after that, she said, well, I live in New York. How did this happen? And he sent her copies of the checks. Mm-hmm.
He sent copies.
He said something about your sister and Rocky. Mm-hmm. Edward Bivens, because I really didn't know Rocky's name.
Right, he said Edward Bivens cashed your checks. But how was I supposed to get my money back?
The only way you could get your money back is you had to prosecute them. And you said, I don't want to do that.
Once we did do the investigation, well, they sent information. Someone sent in, which was my sister, and I will be showing that in a second. She changed the contract and put her name on the contract saying that she was my manager. And you're going to see that in a second. And then they put they sent my passport. It was a lot of stuff.
I know he said, that they had proof. They thought it was you and everything. But there's only reason that you couldn't get your money back is you would have to prosecute them.
No one has a reason to lie. And you're going to see with the receipts. And if it wasn't for Miss Diane, none of us, me, Candy, my sister, Tiny, nobody would have gotten these checks from Sound Exchange. If it wasn't for you finding out about that royalty,
my husband with the TAMs, I signed them up, and that's how I found out about it. And our business managers in New York told me about it. So that's kind of how I knew about Sound Exchange.
Thank you for doing it.
Sister was asked about Sound Exchange. She acted like she didn't know what I was talking about. So I'm not going to do too much, but I will clear my name. I will show you a few pieces of evidence that shows how they went in and they changed my address to their address, how they changed my email. Everything that Miss Diane did was changed by my sister, latoshascott. I will give you evidence. Now, the misconception is the $30,000. It wasn't one check. It was multiple checks. It wasn't just one. So I was very nice. I was being very nice to say that only $30,000 was stolen from me. I was very nice to say only $30,000 was taken from me, stolen from me, rather. So, you want your apology? How about I give them proof what you did? Just a little bit, not a lot. I'm not trying to bury you. You just need to stop being out here saying these false things, you and your husband, these threats and everything else. It's not going to work. Oh, yeah, one of the threats were that my tape, I have a sex tape that I did. Yes, when I was in my 20s, I did a sex tape. So, I didn't want to take it back to my house, so I gave the tape to my sister and told her to hold it. So, I can watch it every now and then, I just got to be honest with you. I was looking good on the tape. But anyway, I gave it to my sister, so I went back to get it. She said someone stole it out of her safe. So I said, okay, well, who got the safe code? Who got the code to your safe? She said only her and her husband. But somebody stole my tape. Now I'm about to be blackmailed by them. If I don't apologize, they're going to put the tape out. This is what the text says. So, you know what? You're not going to scare me. You got my tape, but you said you didn't have my tape. Now all of a sudden you want to extort me and put the tape out? And you're doing a gospel album. Let's talk about that. So at the beginning of last year, my grandmother and my mom all was saying they wanted me and my sister to do a gospel album. So the management at the time went and I sat down with her and she said that Motown Records offered me and my sister a gospel deal, right? So my sister came up to my house March of last year. Came up, spent the night, got snowed in. We were singing, we were cooking, having a good time. But it was a scratch in the record when I told her that we need to split everything down the middle. We need to write everything. We need to create everything together. And all of a sudden she was outraged. She was like, well, this is what I do. I do music. You can do screenplays and you can write plays and movies, but I'm the singer in the family. So me and my husband was looking like, what just happened here? We're sitting here talking about a gospel deal for us. And she just went bananas. I'm the singer. I'm this. I write. I do this. So in between all that I was tired from cooking and cleaning. I fell asleep on her butt. But when I fell asleep, my husband said she kept talking. He walked out. She was just mad. So when she left my house, she never mentioned it again. Now, she posted receipts on her thing saying that Rocky got us the deal. But if you look real close to the paperwork, like I did, I screenshot it and read it. It says, dear, whatever the guy name was. She was asking questions. She said, what was his name? The manager, Rocky, and I. So the and I was not Rocky. It was the lady who sat down with us and told us who she got us the deal. Our old management. So how did Rocky get us the deal? I'm just so sick and tired of her praising him like he's God. It's like she want him to be this big. Okay, Tamika, stay focused. Stay focused. But he did not get us the deal. I'm sure he was the one that talked her out of it, or both of them, because it's how you steal my money and steal our gospel deal. Oh, and it gets better. Check this out. So I have people calling me, sending me, I'm in church. This is the crazy thing about it. I'm in church and I got a text. And somebody said, what's going on with this? So evidently, if you go on your cable network and you look up a show, underneath the show will tell you who the actors are or who the people are that's on the show. Someone has went and replaced my pictures with my sister. So not only did you steal money and our gospel album that we told grandmama that we were going to do, but now, if you all go look, now my image is gone and is replaced with her pictures. Yeah, it's just a lot of crooked stuff that has happened. And it's something about Todd, he said in the text. But it's crazy because things that were in that threat text, when my sister did her interview on her bus, dogging everybody out, talking about Candy, talking about I lied, certain things that were in that threatened text was in what she said.
LaToshascott is out here going on radio stations and shows explaining to people that this is all alleged information, this never happened, and that they don't have any reason for them to be stealing money from their sister. But receipts trumps this allegation, so I don't know what she's thinking. Y'all stay tuned because more will be coming out soon, I guarantee. See you soon.